what is the future for content creation based on what Adam Mosseri is saying, and Colin and Samir and the leaders of YouTube and everybody else around it. And it is very simple. Like, fact number one, the amount of content created is just exponentially growing thanks to AI. It is true. Like, there's more and more AI creators, basically, like AI characters pretending to be humans and creating content very easily. And the more time passes by, the cheaper it is. And that is actually bringing point number two, the more realistic and the more human and the more relatable and easy to understand that it's a real person behind the camera sharing real perspectives, real experiences, etc., the more valuable the content is. That's why there's so many channels blowing up that are literally zero edition, zero like production, and it's just one, like this video, one take for the whole thing. You can see the errors, the movement, the changes, that whatever. So I think the two key conclusions from all those videos, from a freaking 1 hour podcast from Colin and Samir discussing these things, and it's even more than one episode or two. Uh, the big long post of Adam Mosseri. There is another letter written last year by the leaders of YouTube, etc. I think, and Netflix and all the trends and everything, I think the conclusion is, at least for content creators that are behind a social media platform, it's be real, be honest, stop worrying so much about becoming so cool and b-roll and this and all the additions, which lowers the bar of creating and actually putting yourself out there and like being able to access that. So it's democratized, but it becomes more difficult because you actually have to put yourself out there. Like, people can read through fake, like, I don't know, whoever is pretending to be someone else and pretending to be a lifestyle. Like, that used to be working in 2010, but now if somebody's pretending, you can see through them and it's like a joke. Unless you are a comedian, it just doesn't work. So the biggest challenge right now is to actually put yourself out there. What are you working on? And my biggest recommendation would be, stop chasing the numbers, the big ass numbers of like subscribers and followers. And this happens, like, I'm very focused, or not very focused, throughout the last 10 years. I've been learning and testing and working in different platforms, three platforms: LinkedIn, YouTube, and Instagram. I started with Instagram in 2016 while I was working at Meta, and to learn how it worked and everything. And I grew up following, and then like ignored that channel for like a couple of years. So it just like decreased in following, and the algorithm killed my account. But then 3 years later, I put it again. And like, so I've been learning from every single platform and trying with YouTube and this and that. And the interesting thing is that the only thing that I can call it success is when I am putting myself out there with the work that I'm doing. In LinkedIn, I'm talking all the time about the work that I'm doing with my consulting clients, because that's what I'm doing right now. In the past, I was running a company for health tech, and I was talking about all the findings we've gotten, like the algorithm, how it's actually improving the health and assessing the risk in health of people just by some questions. And that was equally accurate as actual blood tested, different things. So just putting what I was working on out there would open doors and connect me to the right places. I got offers for investors that wanted to invest in a company when I was just talking about it in public. So I was not chasing numbers. All I was doing is talking about what I'm working on and what I'm learning, and what are the milestones we're reaching, what are the learnings, the things that didn't go well, and just being open and honest about it, and things that actually are going well and could help you as well, if you knew how to do it, etc. So my point with all this is that the same that he's working on LinkedIn is worked on YouTube, it's worked on Instagram. Is like sharing what you're working on and the process, what you're working on, what you're learning about, and your perspective on things, as honest and relatable as possible, is like the key for success. And success, I call success that the fact that you're able to use your social media accounts, in this case LinkedIn, Instagram, or YouTube, in order to open doors for you or your business or your projects, to connect with the right people and to send a message to the right people at the right time. So the way algorithm works is stay relatable and real. Talk about things that you're actually working on and doing and interested in, and share a real, honest perspective, like yourself. The more real, the actual goes through and it goes longer, and things actually develop and work and connect you. So the baseline as well, it would be not to chase the big numbers. So unless your career is going to be create content and get paid by sponsors to create that content, that's a different career. That is something that you can choose to do. But I think unless you're working on something interesting or learning something interesting along the way and bringing people through the camera along the way through your process of learning and growing, that it's just so share what you're working on, your perspective, stay relatable, and that's it. You could have, I think I said this in the first 2 minutes, so you could have saved this whole video.